Hello everybody. Today we'll see something about asynchronous programming. Uh, Asynchronous programming is nothing but parallel execution of multiple independent tasks, which can be executed without blocking or waiting of other tasks, which ultimately reduces our execution time. This is how asynchronous processes are executed. Suppose we have got two processes which are independent. First one is get long running name, means we in this method we will get name of someone, but it takes too much of time because it is executed on some remote machine and it takes about 1 minute. Second method is that it will return us content and it takes about 30 seconds. So if these methods are executed one after another, then it will take about 1 minute and 30 seconds. But if these two methods are, assuming that these two methods are independent and if they are executed asynchronously, means they both are allocated processes or CPU or resources for required for execution separately and they are executed on separate machines, then they will require about max about 1 minute. Here is asynchronous implementation of last method or method which we had seen in last previous slide. What is difference is async task string. This async keyword and await keyword are used in conjunction with each other. Async indicates that this method is asynchronous or it contains an asynchronous content which can be executed asynchronously and it will return us a string data type. But as we say that it is an asynchronous, it contains an asynchronous content, it should be declared as a task. This is generic data type which returns or which indicates there is a task which returns us a string. First, what we do is we represent this get long running name method as a task, object, and second method will be executed sequentially. After the execution of this method, we are calling name equal to await name task. This await keyword will say that this process should be allocated independent resources for execution purpose, and after it is executed on a separate set of resources, it should return as result and store it in a name variable. At last, it will return us name and content. I hope this is an overview of an asynchronous process. We'll see what is there in async keyword, what is purpose of await keyword, and then we can thoroughly say that we have understood asynchronous process. This keyword indicates that the method or a task is can be executed asynchronously. If it is the if it doesn't contain async content keyword in its header, then we cannot execute it asynchronously. It is simple synchronous execution. Again, if we have indicated a method or a function asynchronous by writing async keyword in its header, and if it doesn't contain any await keyword in it, then also it will be executed synchronously. So this is example of await keyword. If this is a task, then it can be called with the help of await keyword and it will be allotted separate set of resources for execution purpose, and after completion it will return result and it will store result in variable to which it is assigned on left hand side of this assignment operator. This keyword task indicates that it is a task. We are running a task for a particular purpose. This is anonymous task within a task. It is using system.threading.thread.sleep method. It is a static method which allows us to pause for 500 milliseconds. This is a duration of second and it is in milliseconds. So our execution will pause for 500 milliseconds and then it will continue. So we can say that it is a long process, or we can say it will take around 500 milliseconds for execution. So there are few changes like using async keyword to indicate that it is a asynchronous method. Await keyword uh, tells compiler that we will ultimately need the result of get long running name method, but we don't need to block on that call. So when await get long running name method is called, at that time it will not block execution of the current process. It will continue execution of the current process, and it will allot separate resources for execution of this method because it is an independent task. We are changing return type to task string. This informs the caller method that the return type will eventually be a string. But even though it returns a string, it is an independent task which can be executed parallelly along with some other process. This we have already understood. There is something about shows which is a flow of asynchronous processing. If a start button click event handler is asynchronous, then what will happen is, see here, this asynchronous event handler has got task int generic data type that will return as an integer value. It is asynchronous. I'm just explaining you the content of it, that it is creating an object of HTTP client class, and we are assigning it that get string asynchronous. This is an asynchronous implementation of get string of HTTP client class, which will return as content of this particular URL msdn.microsoft.com. But I'm just creating a task for this. It will not execute it. Here, when I write like this client.getString asynchronous, it will not execute this get string asynchronous method, but it will simply create a task which will return us a string data type. Then we execute this do independent work. This independent work will be executed after that, and then when it returns here back to the do independent work in our event handler, it will next execute this return await string task, which will fetch data from msdn.microsoft.com, and at last it will return size of our URL content. We can do one thing is we can move this string URL contents equal to await get string task on top of it, and then we can execute do independent task. So what it will do is it will execute this task independently. Parallelly, it will execute do independent work also. So we can exactly identify how it is working or how asynchronous processes are executed without blocking our current process execution, current method execution. It will perform this task also. Here we have got one class. This is another example of synchronous and asynchronous method. Public string get content. This is synchronous implementation of three methods which will sleep for 200 milliseconds, 500 milliseconds and 300 milliseconds and return as a result, whereas this is overloaded methods of this synchronous implementation asynchronously. Asynchronous implementation of this synchronous methods. Here I am using await keyword as it is async task string. Instead of simple string, it is async task string, and instead of thread.sleep 200 milliseconds, I am using task.delay 200 milliseconds, and await keyword is used, which will be executed asynchronously. So here we have got asynchronous implementation, and how these methods can be called by after creating an object of content management class. We have got a service object which is of content management class, and I am getting executed this synchronous method without any kind of await keyword or without creating a task. I am executing them with the object name. Whereas in case of asynchronous implementation, after creating an object of content management class, I am creating tasks for all these three methods: content task, count task and name task, and I am executing this task with the help of await keyword, which indicates that each of these tasks should be executed parallelly. Now something about return types. Uh, Here in this we are creating async method, but this is a return type. This return type should be of or can be this return type can be either task and then within angle brackets uh, data type of which value is returned. It can be either void also. Instead of this, I can use void also, or I can simply use task like we had used in earlier method. Here we had used only task. So task is return type for async method. Then it will be executed asynchronously and it can be awaited. If we have got task and generic type or task generic type, then we can say that it will return a t type of value and it can be executed asynchronously and can be awaited. If it is void, then it cannot be awaited. If async method returns void, it cannot be awaited. This essentially turns the method into fire and forget method, which is really a desired behavior. Further, the error handling of async method that returns void is quite a bit different, as shown by Stephen clearly. You can search for this term or name and along with that async void return type. That's a good reason for void as a return type from an async call, unless you don't care at all whether that call actually fires or finishes. So almost every asynchronous method will have a return data type, or yes, return type will use task or generic task return type. Task class represents asynchronous action itself, not the result of that action. It task keyword indicates that it is an asynchronous action. It doesn't indicate any kind of return type. Calling await on task means that we want to wait for the task to complete, and in case task T want to retrieve the value that task returns of T type. What are benefits by using synchronous execution? We are consuming resources, but by executing independent methods asynchronously, we can speed up our execution uh, and we can improve performance of our application. But if it is designed incorrectly, then it can also create a bad performance, or it can consume so much of time also. When we create a method or when we declare that method is async, then whenever it is called, what computer does is it will or compiler does it will create a state machine like it does in case of function calls. When a function is called, it will store return address, parameters, and uh, it will save state of local variables also. Same way, in case of asynchronous call also, it will create a state machine. So we should make sure that if method is executed asynchronously, then only it should be declared async. If it is executed synchronously, then we are again wasting resources by creating a state machine. So we should take care of this too. That methods which are executed asynchronously should only be declared async. Otherwise, it will create problem for us, or it will be hazardous. This first demerit indicates that a first drawback is that it should only methods which are asynchronous can only be executed asynchronously. We cannot call these async methods from synchronous method. So we should provide asynchronous implementation of all those methods which requires asynchronous execution or which requires to call asynchronously, like we done in content management class. that's all regarding asynchronous. We'll see demo for this in next session.